All right. All right, guys, welcome to tonight's call. We're going to be talking about why doTERRA compensation plan trumps all compensation plans. This is one of my favorite presentations when our doTERRA leadership corporate team did this for us this time last year. It was an awesome compensation plan presentation, and I really enjoyed it. So my name is Roxy Saran. I'm a doTERRA Diamond, and that just means we've helped a lot of people, right? My background is in HR, and so we've got some experience with looking at different compensation plans, and yes, like Donald Trump, no pun intended with the Trump right now. I thought about that too as I was typing it up. But yeah, so my background is in HR, and so I love this from the perspective of let's just compare, right? Let's just compare other compensation plans because it's important. There's tons of opportunities out there, and so how do you know this is the right one? And so I love that we can let's just break it down and compare so that you can make an educated decision. And also, for those of us that have already chosen doTERRA, it just confirms why, and then you can share in an educated manner, and also how to explain it to friends and family who might be considering another alternative. So that's a good thing. All right, so let's get started. All right, so it all began last year in January when Emily Wright, she is our Vice President of Marketing, and she posted on our Diamond thread. We've got a Diamond Facebook group where they kind of bounce some ideas off of us. And Corey Lindley is our CFO, and he has agreed to do some competitive analysis on doTERRA's compensation plan versus other network marketing companies. And the results will be revealed at leadership. And so this happened last year. And to narrow down the research, they asked the Diamonds to please nominate 3 companies so that they can compare, right? So check this out. 112 likes and 182 comments. Now, you guys know that there's over 200,000 companies out there, and you imagine if people can pick 3, how many different combinations were there, right? Do the math. Tons and tons, right? So, oops, I'm going the wrong way. So 48 different companies were listed. Can you imagine that? 48. And he said he would do 3. So guess what? We were in a little bit of a problem, but he did choose some of the top ones. So here's some of the brands that popped up that people were asking about, right? Some of these we're familiar with, some of them I've never heard of, right? And I think that was one of the most interesting things, was that maybe your newsfeed is popping up with a certain one, right? You might think of it right away. I mean, the leggings things, that's just been blowing up my newsfeed, and people adding me to all these groups. And I know it's a fad. I know, like, how many pairs of leggings do you need? Maybe not everybody even wears leggings. I don't know. Whatever it is popping up on your newsfeed, it might be a pocket of it, but it seems like everybody's doing that. So what was interesting to me was out of those 48 companies that were listed, some of them, most of us have never even heard about, even though to a particular person, it might feel like everybody they know is doing that one thing. So it's not global, right? It's definitely not taking the world by storm, but it might feel like it on your newsfeed. So that was encouraging. All right. So give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime, right? So what we're doing here by showing you guys how to compare compensation plans, we're actually teaching you how to fish, right? So we're not just telling you, okay, memorize this and say doTERRA is the best. No, that's not what we want, right? We don't want you just to repeat back, say, it's like, honey, you haven't told me you love me. Oh, I love you, right? No, that doesn't count, right? Or tell me I'm beautiful, or does this make me look fat? No, you look great. That doesn't count, right? Or you don't bring me flowers anymore, and then they bring you flowers. That doesn't count, right? So what we're trying to do here is to, again, train and educate people how to think for themselves. You can critically analyze any compensation plan so you can know if you're in the right thing. And that is important to do. So that's what is at the heart of doTERRA in our culture. So here's another one, right? Grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. Doesn't it feel like that sometimes? Like, man, here we are trying to build this thing the right way, with the foundation and the walls and the roof and all the detail and all the stuff that goes into that. But it's easy to get distracted, and we'll show you why some compensation plans pay a higher percentage initially. And so it looks like initially people are making a little bit more money up front with other companies. So it makes people think, oh, maybe I should be doing something else. this person started at the same time with me with the leggings and they're already making XYZ, whatever. I don't know. I'm picking on the leggings tonight, but it could be anything. So the grass isn't necessarily always greener on the other side of the fence. The grass is greener where you water it, right? For sure. But we'll be unpacking that in just a little bit. All right. So there's a story of the fox and the sick lion, right? The interesting thing with the story of the fox and the sick lion is that the lion was so sick that all these other of the animals would come and bring him a meal and, take care of him. But what was happening was that anybody who came into the lion's den never walked out, right? So he was eating. It was a trick. It was a ploy, right? And so some of these compensation plans, you go in, but you don't come out alive, right? I mean, so we need to be wise. We need to be wise and don't fall for the tricks of the sick lion. So we'll talk about that. Okay, so disclaimer. I love this disclaimer. The research in this presentation is based upon public information for all companies discussed. It's not my fault that doTERRA comes out as the best company. Facts are facts. I love it. Do you guys see why I love this presentation? This is awesome. All right, let's unpack it. All right, so let's talk about ViSolus. Has anybody ever heard of ViSolus? I didn't. You did? James, you did? I'm so shocked. Okay, I have to unmute you. Okay, tell me, what do you know about ViSolus? I'm probably not even saying it right.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's a shake. It's a drink that's supposed to help with weight loss.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all. I know of one person who did it like 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And he fell off the wagon.
Right. Okay. That's pretty much the story, right? So I don't even know what the product is, but that's irrelevant, right? So they, the rise and fall, right? Super fast growth and super fast crash. So in the end of 2010, they were over 15 million. They were worth that a month, 15 million a month, or had sales of 15 million a month. And then they experienced rapid growth to 624 million in 2012. So their IPO was announced. And then their sales peaked in 2012 and then declined. And then in 2013 went down to half, right, to 350. And then their IPO was canceled. And then guess what? Lawsuits started to pop up because they were recruiting big leaders who weren't actually loyal customers to be their commercial, right? doTERRA doesn't do commercials because we are the commercial, right? We're the ones who use it and we actually tell people about it. So we don't hire any what's her name? The gymnast that was just Biles, right? That one. She uses doTERRA, but we didn't pay her to say that. She said, I use peppermint or whatever, but we didn't pay her to say that, and they actually don't use the product, right? That's not how doTERRA works. But a lot of these companies, especially the big leaders, were not really consumers. They were just being paid to be a spokesperson for it. So there was lawsuits against that, right? Because that's false advertising. So as of last report of September 2014, only 30,000 distributors are left, and they're still losing money. And most importantly, they didn't make the list of the 48. No one mentioned this company in any of the diamonds that were like, this is popping up all over my newsfeed, right? So that's just one example of how these companies rise and fall really quick, and they're here, and you blink and they're gone. And so but we have to be mindful and know about these things so that when you see something pop up, let's see. And we'll show you throughout this presentation of how do you know what is a good comp plan? How do you know what's a good product? How do you know if it's the real deal, right? And so we'll unpack that. But this is a very common type of thing in this type of industry where it just rises and falls very, very quickly. All right. Okay. Moving on. I am muting you guys, but you are welcome to ask questions or flag you down. Welcome, Lola. I'm glad you're here. All right. So evaluating direct sales companies. Product. Absolutely, you guys. It has to be product-based. It has to be an amazing product that you can't get anywhere else. That's why, and I did a video yesterday on my public Facebook page, and I hope people didn't get offended. My point wasn't to offend people, but maybe a little, step on people a little bit, step on toes a little bit. But you guys, it's not a candle. It's not a purse. It's not makeup. It's not skincare. Well, we have skincare, but that's not our main focus, right? It's not just a weight loss, not just a certain segment of the population. It's everybody, right? and the product has to be amazing, has to be completely unmatched, not find it anywhere else. And we can attest to that. But when you're evaluating direct sales companies, we have to evaluate the product, right? Is a legging a legging a legging? I don't know. Whatever. It feels like butter on your skin. I don't really know what that means, but whatever. But you have to evaluate that for every product that you guys are looking at. Is it a candle, purse, whatever, insurance, timeshares, whatever it is, evaluate the product. The people, who are you going to be working with? Who's the company, right? There's some companies right now, guys, that they have one leader, not 7. They have one. And so when that person decides that they are going to take a month off and go buy an island or something, what happens to that company? Where are they leading that company? And so I love that ours has 7 stable leaders, where if one person has a crazy idea, they're not flaky and going to be kind of tossed and turned by the waves. So that's important. The people, product people, and the plan, right? We need to know about the compensation plan. It's so important. And we'll unpack all of these tonight. Are you guys getting so excited? I love this presentation. Yay. I'm glad you guys are here. All right, products. Let's unpack it. Why would you use these products? And how do the products improve your life? Do they improve your life, right? Thank you, baby. What are the ingredients in the products? Are they unique, right? Or is it something you can pick up anywhere? All right. What does the monthly volume look like month after month? So these are things that we want to consider when we're comparing any type of compensation plan. Is it something that's going to be, going up and down a lot, or is it going to be pretty stable? And those of you who have been with us even for a couple months, you can see it's pretty stable, right? You guys, if it's legitimate customers, legitimate growth, you're going to see it continue to grow, right? As more people start to tell other people. So you're not having to reinvent the wheel every time. And is the marketing of the products FDA compliant? James, we've talked about this before, right? And that really rubs us all the wrong way. When my product is going to cure everything, right? And then it's like, oh, really? So when the FDA came down hard on doTERRA a year ago, it was for our own good, because as we have grown into a $2 billion company, we're expected of more. But you know what? Instead of saying my product, will cure XYZ, if we say my product will help support your body in that, it sounds more credible anyway by not making a medical claim. So it's actually a good thing that us in doTERRA, that we have learned to speak compliantly. Now, when I'm speaking to somebody on a one-on-one appointment and I share my story with you, I'm probably going to tell you in a non-compliant way, right? Because that's my story, okay? But I'm not going to plaster that all over social media, okay? And that just makes us more credible when we do it in a compliant way. So when you see something pop up on your newsfeed and it's like, take these vitamins and you'll be, reverse aged 50 years or whatever, I don't know. That's a red flag, right? Because we're not supposed to be making claims like that. And if the FDA isn't going after them yet, it means they're small fries. Okay. That's what it means. All right. So the people, look at that. Isn't our executive team beautiful? They are. They're so elegant looking. I'm like, I love that they're at the helm of our business and stuff, just top of the line people. And so what experience does the management team have? How many players are there that make up the decisions? Are they going to go off and buy an island, or I don't know, do something weird, right? Or are they here to stay? Most of our executives travel more days than they are home. They're gone, and they're still doing what we do, right? Teaching classes and making sure that we're in the forefront of the industry, and that's important. Are there any past challenges with any of the founders? You can look up every single founder by name and look up, do they have any lawsuits out there? Do they have any skeletons in their closet that we need to know about, right? There's some interesting things that you can read out there about other leaders that I've read about. It's scary stuff, right? Maybe they hop from company to company. They keep starting new companies because the other ones keep going under, right? FDAs come in and shut them down, or the FTC for making claims, financial claims, and they get shut down. They open a new scheme, right? We don't want any of that. We want to run from that, especially now in the day and age where we can just Google anything you want to know, you can look it up. And so there's no reason for people to fall into that trap. It's so important. What's the real vision of the ownership team? Do you know what it is? One of the companies, the name escapes me now, but it's one of the exercise ones. And the leader said his vision is to make enough money like Warren Buffett so he can party like Jimmy Buffett. And he's buying islands every month with his money. That you're not going to see that from doTERRA. Okay. You're not going to see them buying islands or yachts or anything like that and going off and doing all kinds of stuff. That's not what doTERRA is about. That's not what our leadership team is about. They're on vacation with us in Cancun and doing a humanitarian day with us right there in the trenches. They're out finding new sources for our oils and building those strong partnerships. They're definitely not doing anything crazy like that. So their heart is an oil in every home. That is their focus, and bridging that gap between modern medicine and natural medicine. And doTERRA is in the heart of that, and I love it. Over 115 years of experience between the 7 executives and their top of the line people in each one of their respective areas of expertise. All right, so the plan, let's talk about compensation plan. Retention rate, right, means when you get 10 people in this month, a year from now, how many of them are still with you? That is the traditional way that retention rate is looked at. But what are the plan details? Let's unpack it, because sometimes it's confusing. You can look at companies' compensation plans. Some of them are 50 pages. Some of them are 300 pages. How do you know what's the right thing? Too many loopholes for them to say, oh, you missed section 25AC. Sorry, you don't get paid. We need to understand that. What are the details? What does the earnings disclosure statement say? Does it stack up? How can you compare apples to apples? And again, this is one thing that I alluded to yesterday on my Facebook video about earnings disclosure statement or income disclosure statement. You can compare apples to apples. Every company in network marketing is required to have an income disclosure statement. If you can't find it for the company that you're looking for, that is a red flag, okay? And I've asked some people that are doing other companies, hey, I want to see your income disclosure statement. And they say, oh, we don't have one because it's not about that. And I'm like, you are being scammed, okay? You can package it as many different ways that you want, but if you are not allowed to compare apples to apples, there's something wrong. They're hiding something from you. So it doesn't matter to me if they choose doTERRA or not. Just I hope my friends don't get scammed and know where they're putting their time and resources. So how many people are breaking into the new leadership ranks? This is an important thing. There's some companies been around for 20 years, but they maybe have total 14 people in the whole entire company making 6-figure income. You guys, that's scary. After 20 years, there should be a whole lot more than that. And how many new people are achieving new ranks? That's important. Or is it achievable over time, right? Not just that it just doesn't happen. It's impossible, right? All right, so 3 basic types of compensation plans. There's a binary plan that goes in 2, right? Binary 2. Breakaway plans are when you have a new leader that grows under you, they break away from you if they do better than you. Doesn't that sound horrible, right? So then what happens with breakaway guys is that people, and I've talked to people in these businesses, it actually helps them to not recruit big. Don't look for superstars because they'll break away from you and they will actually hop over you and they'll be not attached to you. I just can't imagine that flawed thinking in that breakaway plan. But what happens with breakaway is that you want to look for mediocrity. You want to look for people who are not as good as you or lower than you so they'll stay with you. So you don't want to recruit a superstar because they'll trump you. They'll be gone. And can you see, guys, how that would lead to competitive environment, even with people within your own downline? doTERRA didn't want to have anything to do with that. And then there's a unilevel. Unilevel is where you get paid for multiple levels, okay? And we'll talk about why doTERRA fits into unilevel, but a little bit an exception to that. They've added on Unilevel Plus is what we'll call it. All right, binary plans. So maybe these are some names of companies you may have heard of. I haven't even heard of all these names. Isagenix, Beachbody, Zynga, Usana, Monave, and jeunesse, maybe. I don't know how to say it. Maybe I said it wrong. So binary, if you can see the picture on the right, they have one leg one and leg two, and then you help that person get leg one and leg two. The problem with these is you only allow two people on your front line, and the next people are only allowed two people on the front line. That's why it's called binary. But the compensation plan is based on the group volume of each leg. Now, commissions are usually paid on the weaker leg. What does that mean? Anybody who's been in doTERRA long enough, you guys know that some of us all have like one leg that's giant and one leg that's smaller. So let's just say that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, well, with our plan, but with the binary, let's just say you have one leg that's at 5,000 sales and the other leg is at 1,000 sales. What binary says, you know what, since your legs are not both the same, you only get paid on 1,000 on both legs, 1,000, 1,000, because it has to be equal, okay? So there's usually, they pay commission on that lower, on the weaker leg level, no depth limitations. They're not driven by levels. So you can keep stacking people down 2 levels all the way down. You just keep on stacking people. But the volume in the organization is limited for payouts. So if a distributor doesn't qualify, if they don't meet their minimum requirements, they don't get paid and the commissions return to the company. I don't know. I think I would be super uber frustrated in a binary plan. It's just really hard to ever make them balanced. And so people get really frustrated and burned out and then they quit, okay? Pros, it's easy to explain, right? You only need 2 and help everybody find 2, right? It's easy to explain. There's frequent payouts, weekly and biweekly, and that's because there's no real retention to the numbers, and so they need to hurry up and pay you out because people quit. It's good for single product companies. It's not consumer friendly. It usually pays on the individual's weakest leg. We talked about that. So there's no reward for the greatest effort. Like you have this one superstar leg, you don't get paid for that. So there's no reward for people to do that. You see what I'm saying? It actually rewards, again, mediocrity. Manipulation and placements. There's people who will manipulate the numbers just so that they can, try to maximize their particular comp plan. So 2 legs are required to get a check. If you don't have 2 legs, you don't get paid. Okay, scary. It's very volatile revenue. It can be up and then down, and they have regulatory challenges with the FTC and abroad. Okay, so that is binary plan. All right. Okay, breakaways. This one, just blows my mind, guys. So Amway, New Skin, Herbalife, and Arbonne. Have you guys heard of some of these? Yeah, heard of some? Yeah, a little bit. I know. So team volume requirement is the key here. That you get paid by team requirement. So your business is focused, business-focused downline will break away from your team volume as they start to build. So as you have a new leader launch, they start their own team volume now, and they no longer count toward your team volume. Scary. Can you guys imagine? Like, no, you don't really want to be a leader because you don't want them to break away from you. I just can't imagine this. So monthly team volume maintenance is required for all leaders. And if you don't meet your requirement, the people below you trump you. They lead your team and go above you. And they keep going up until the biggest fish keep getting up to the top of the company, even though you originally recruited them or worked or partnered with them, maybe even trained them. They're gone. They're not on your team anymore. When leaders break away, their volume goes with them. And for the team requirement, this creates massive stress for inexperienced builders because as they're recruiting people and they take off, they're gone. And you're out having to keep getting new leaders and they keep leaving you. Can you imagine? You guys, I cannot imagine the stress of these businesses. And why do people even, I don't know. My mind can't understand it. So leaders are then paid on number of generations of downline groups if they meet all of their volume requirements, right? Okay, so pros, the payout could be potentially very large. It could be. Good distributors, good for distributors who have exceptional recruiting skills. If you're an awesome recruiter and you're bringing in people, hopefully this might be a good plan for you. So cons, it's difficult to understand. I don't know, if you don't understand, people are going to leave. It's difficult to understand. Distributors have a tendency to stockpile the product because remember, if you don't meet your team volume requirement, you're not going to get paid. And so then they're stocking the products in their home or garage to make up for the team volume so that they can be paid out. So it pays the highest levels, the most money. and significantly less to the lower levels. Now, those of you guys that have been on our calls with the doTERRA compensation plan, you know why that's so important. So this breakaway plans pay the highest level, the most money, and then significantly lower on the lower levels. And you guys know how it grows out like that. And so basically the company is keeping more of the money and not paying it out. Too many dead bodies, it's a low retention rate. Too many people get hurt in these types of plans, and so you're not retaining your people because they're afraid. They're afraid of that, and it creates competition within your own organization. And I can't imagine how that would work. So okay, Unilevel. So Unilevel is doTERRA, Young Living, It Works, Nerium, Plexus, Laval, Advocare, LifeVantage, and Rodan and Fields are Unilevel. So Unilevel is very simple to explain. You're paid on each individual level. Structure is important and placement is key. There's requirements based on organizational volume and width, but there's no limit to the width or the depth, but you only get paid a certain number of levels. Okay, so far so good, right? All right, so pros, it's easy to explain. It's good for part-time distributors. There's supplemental bonuses, offers large payouts, no limits on your front line. You could be unlimited wide. And residual income is most secure. Okay, residual income is most secure. Now, cons, limited levels of pay, requires time and hard work to build, usually slower to build, and smaller checks initially. Can we all agree to that? I mean, yeah, that's spot on, okay? But let's take a look here. So Unilevel summary. So some things to look at when you're comparing these companies that we just mentioned that are in the Unilevel. Payment percentage by level. And so what we look at is fast start versus residual income, right? So some people come to us and they're like, Roxy, I need to make some money quick. I need to make $500 by the end of the month, right? So we can do the math of our comp plan and back up the numbers and say, okay, you need a class for this amount if you need to walk away with $500. So there's some people that we need to look at. What is your goal? Are you okay with not making that much money initially because you're building for the long term, or do you need to make the quicker cash? Well, some of these companies pay up more upfront, but then there's no residual, not much residual. So you need to be able to compare that and understand it. The rank requirements, what are the number of legs? What are the size of the legs? What are the organizational volume requirements? Other factors to consider, fast start. Does it even have fast start bonuses built into it? What are the pools? Do they have bonus pools, and what are the depth of those pools, right? That's important. If not only we have bonus pools, but what's the residual aspect in there? And then, of course, comparing income disclosure statements. So let's unpack it, all right? doTERRA is called compensation Unilevel Plus. So we've got Unilevel, which means we're paid out on these different levels, but we also have Power of Three, which is a structural bonus. We have Founders Club. So for people who are the founders in a new country, the first 15 or 20, depending on the size of the region, the first ones to gold in that area, where 90% of the volume from that area, you become a founder for that area. And 1% of all the profits in that area are split every year between those 15 or 20 individuals. And so as these markets continue to grow, guys, that's lifetime. That is for life, just for being a founder, for being a groundbreaking person on the ground. Doesn't mean you're there. It means your 3 legs are there. The volume of those legs are there. All right. So like Russia is about to come out. You guys, this is coming down the pipes. Russia's going to come out. You guys know people in Russia? Or you want to move to Russia for 6 months? I don't know. It's worth it, right? No. Asia. Lola, Asia's going to come out. You know people in Asia? Can you find 3 premiers out there, right? For you to be gold with 3 premier volume? I mean, really, it's not that hard, but yeah, it's a brand new market. They don't know anything about the products out there. But that's the exciting part, right? That's the excitement of being a founder. We spoke to some people at leadership, the U.S. founders. So when they started in doTERRA 8 years ago, and the first 20 people to become U.S. founders in doTERRA, the first 20 golds in the company with U.S. volume. Babe, what was it last year? 300,000 was their
460.
460,000 was their 1%. per person, right? Can you imagine? For life. And that's like, they're all diamond, blue diamond, presidential diamond, whatever other bonuses they make, just the founders pool. You guys. Impressive, right? Okay. So Unilevel Plus, Power of Three Founders Club are bonus pools. So once you become part of doTERRA leadership ranks, you swim into that pool and you get profit sharing in there. And then our fast starts, which is the 20, 10, and 5%, and how you can make that quick money paid weekly, if that's important, right? For some people, we need to get that in quickly. So what we call doTERRA, it's like that rock, right? It's just there. It's solid. It's not going anywhere, right? That's kind of why the picture's there. It's just there. So other benefits to doTERRA, of course, the loyalty rewards program. So you're getting your percentages back and essentially your free shipping, and it helps lower the cost of your products when you get more products for free. The dynamic compression is a unique aspect to doTERRA. So what it means is we get paid 7 levels, but it compresses the organization up. So if you got people on level 17 and the other people in between didn't order, it compresses your organization up. So you're always paid out on maximum 7 levels, even if the people in between didn't order. Okay, a lot of other companies, they call it breakage. And so if somebody didn't order in between there, the company penalizes you. That's part of their disclosures, right? And those many, many pages of disclosures is if somebody didn't order in between there, you are punished and they don't pay you. Sorry, right? That stinks. You know, that's not my fault that their credit card was declined, or maybe they had an emergency or something. I don't know, right? That's not my fault. Okay, so doTERRA has that dynamic compression. The payout is increased with depth. So the deeper you go in the 7 levels, the higher your percentage. That is unique to doTERRA, and you guys will see that in just a second. Minimal leg requirements compared, you guys, you can get up to 6-figure income with 3 legs, okay? And multiple 6-figure income with 4 legs, and then 5 or there's 6 legs. So when you see some of the other requirements, you guys are gonna be blown away. And no changes to our compensation plan in 8 years. No changes to our prices in 8 years. Yeah, huge, right? Huge. We're not flaky. We're not, oh, well, yeah, that worked last year, but this year, you know, no. All right, let's click on Plexus for a minute, okay? All right, so Plexus gets paid out on points. All right, levels 1, 2, 3 get 5 points. Basically, it's a percentage if you think about it, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So they pay a higher percentage up, a lower percentage down. They do pay 7 levels. So here's an example. If you sponsor 3 people in your organization and help duplicate your efforts. So you have 3 people on your top line at 5 percentage points, right? Let's say you get 15 points, and then you have 9 people also at 5 points per ambassador. So then you get 45 points. And then you can go through all the different levels and look at the total points awarded. And so if the points that month are valued at $325, you'd be earning like $15,000, right? But remember, since the compensation plan was introduced, the points were anywhere range from 282 to 489. So it just depends, okay? So that's just an idea of how they do their points. All right, but the points go down. You see that, guys? The points go down. That's the most important thing, is the points go down as you go across, okay? So let's unpack this a little bit, right? Let's put it into a spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. Okay, so 7 levels. Whoa. Adrian, he has that on tape now. Well, I like statistics. I don't like your spreadsheets that like feed into other spreadsheets and stuff. Okay, so here's the exact same thing in a little chart that we just looked at. 7 levels, that many people, that many points, and that's the payout, okay? Now, let's compare if they actually value depth, and we just flip it around, just reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, just reverse it, okay? Check out what the monthly payment should be. Wow, $52,000. Keeping everything else the same, guys, just flip the percentages if they really value depth. Okay. Wow. Huge difference. You guys agree? All right. It's cool. I'm muted. I know. They're nodding their heads. He says they're muted. They can't answer you. Okay. All right, guys. So let's look at the doTERRA comp plan, right? So let's look at having, let's see. the doTERRA numbers, right? 7 levels, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7%. This is actually a copy of a Presidential Diamonds monthly check. Just the unilevel. Just the unilevel, not including fast starts, bonus pools, founders, anything else. Just the unilevel, guys. Just the residual aspect of it, okay? So check this out. 1,400 on her first level, his or her first level, 2%, 28 bucks, woo, right? 5,600 on the second level, that's paid at 3%, $168, all right? But look at that next level, 24,000 at 5%, that's 1,200. Next one, 80,000 at 5%, $4,000. 213,000, 6%, guys, 12,800. Wow, numbers are really making some major traction here, right? 437,000 sales, guys, on just that sixth level at 6%. That's 26,000. You guys, there's people who make 26,000 a year, not a month, in residual income on level 6. Mind-boggling, right? So look at level 7. Where do you have the most volume, right? Level 7. Look, 786,000 sales on that level 7. They get 7% of that. That's 55,000 just on level 7. 99,000 is her unilevel for 1 month. This is not made up. This is real. I know, Lola, is it blowing your mind? So let's look at if doTERRA had inverted it. 766535532. The payout for the same everything else would be 45,000. Do you see how easily doTERRA could have done what everybody else does? Very easily, and just have been the status quo. But what would happen with doTERRA leaders is that people won't make it, they don't stay because there's no long-term residual income there. And so people leave, okay? Wow, this is mind-boggling to me. So right now when you're starting and you only have 1 or 2 or 3 levels, you're like, seriously, like 28 bucks, 168 bucks. It's like, this is taking forever. But I promise you, if it would be inverse, you look at those, it would only be like 500. It's not much more. But I promise you, as you go and you build this the right way over time, you're going to love that 7th level at 7%. It is awesome as you see that. And I talk about how it's like a credit card. When you get your credit card and you're like, oh my gosh, how did we accumulate this in 1 month? Have you guys ever had that where you're like, oh, it's thick. I know it's a big envelope. What did happen? What happened? It was Christmas, right? It's the same thing, how all of that adds up. $5, $10, $11, $18. It's the same way, but better, right? Because we're actually helping people and it's not debt, right? doTERRA talks about getting out of debt so we can be free to give more and do more, right? All right, so let's look at competing unilevels, the percentages that they pay by rank. So it works. They pay 6 levels. So you can see their level 1 is at 10% and then they go down to 2%. Okay, so far, none of them are like ours, right? Nerium, they pay 7 levels, but they start at 5% and go down to 2%. Rodan and Fields, they're steady, 5 levels, 5%. Not, easy, right? 5 levels, 5% all the way across. Lavelle, 4% all the way across to level 8. Life Vantage, they do something interesting. They go 2, 5, 2. Okay. Nerium, pay 8 levels, but they go from 5 down to 2. Do you see anything like doTERRA in here, you guys? Nothing, right? Nada. All right. So Life Vantage, you guys are going to freak out. Top level rank requires 1 million in sales. You guys, like, wrap your mind around that a little bit. That's like a lot, right? Young Living Diamond, their diamond rank, 250,000 in sales. Their top rank requires 1.5 million in sales. Nerium, their diamond type rank is 150,000 in sales, and their top rank requires 1.65 million in sales. Wow. You see how they put the bar so high where it's not attainable? Okay. Read the fine print. No disclosure is a red flag. We talked about that. Lavelle has no disclosure. Be sure to compare like ranks. Doesn't matter what they're called. Compare like ranks. Compare their leg requirements, their organizational volume requirements, and compute for for the numbers at each level. So let's look at our silver, right? Our silver have 3 leaders. Average income is 26,000. Percentage of people who are doing the business, 62% are at that level. Gold, 59,000, 26%, keeps going. And then how many people made it into these new ranks in 2015? So silvers, there was 1,800 new silvers in 2015. There were 624 new golds. There was 201 new platinums, 184 new diamonds, right? How many new people are breaking through these ranks every year? And it's only an 8-year-old company, right? So you have to, keep that in mind and look at that. So let's look at, this is crazy. So when you compare income disclosure statements for their rank, so we're taking out the names, that's irrelevant, but just look at their top rank. So top rank for It Works, top income that they say is like the average, 586, Nerium 880, Isogenics 332, Rodan and Field 701, Plexus 443, doTERRA 1.3 million. Whoa. Wow, didn't compare. Okay, level 2, 194, 360, 69, 75, 245, 462. Then compare. Okay, level 3, 105, 150. So they make a little bit more, it seems like this level 3, right? 105, 150, 35, 24, 119, 205. Okay. Level 4, 54, 66, 15, 15, 52, 115. Okay, 4th level. Level 5, 23,000, 34, 7,000, 8,000, 35,000, 59,000. Okay. And then our 6th level, 10,000, 15,000, 2,000, 5,000, 23,000, or 26,000. Okay. No matter what you're comparing, it just doesn't stack up at the ranks, okay? We're also going to compare the volume requirements. Are you guys blown away by this presentation? It totally blows me away. I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is what the Herbalife income disclosure statement says, okay? The majority of distributors who earned in excess of 100,000 in 2012 had reached the level of the president's team. During 2012, 47 distributors joined the level of president's team. Wow, 47. They averaged 9 years as an Herbalife distributor before reaching the president's team, with the longest being 20 years and the shortest being less than 3 years. All right, guys, 9 years. Anybody been in doTERRA 9 years? Nobody. We were not around then, and we have, if you go back, oh, it's not even on here, but we've got over, 700 diamonds, Dave, now? 700 diamonds? I don't know. It's something crazy, guys. About 700 diamonds and up. Okay. Wow. Right? They had 9. 9. Oh no, 47, and it took them 9 years. Okay. I'm freaking out. Okay. doTERRA facts. Platinum is 115,000. Okay. Check this out. So during 2015 alone, 438 new people hit platinum or higher in 2015 alone. Okay. We're not even 9 years old. Not even. Okay. All right. So industry standard of retention rate. Let's go back to retention really quick. 10 to 20% is industry standard. 20% is rocking and rolling, right? That's a great retention rate. So doTERRA is 70+%, right? If we look at 1 year, it's usually around 75 to 85%. If you look at 3 months, it's like 65%, right? So if we look at just if there's any types of discrepancy when people don't understand. So when you look in your back office, it's going to show you your distributors who's placed an order in the last 3 months divided by people who are marked as distributor in the system in your back office. So it's usually around 65%. But corporate, they look at distributors who've placed an order at all in 12 months, but versus distributors who've ever signed up, okay? And look, you'd think it would be lower when you think about anyone who's ever been signed up in doTERRA, but it's actually higher because over 5 years, we keep our customers. They come back. People come back, even if it takes them longer to open the box or whatever, people come back. So this is a really cool thing. All right. So when evaluating direct selling, let's just go ahead and compare doTERRA and Young Living. All right. We're going to do it. It's going to come down, y'all. It's coming down. First of all, let's look at the way the product is packaged, right? I mean, let's be honest. Just look at it. Which one do you think is sharper? I'll let you determine that. And it's in stock, right? It has to be in stock. That's important. We got to have our oils in stock. Their company actually produces a list every single month of items that are out of stock. I don't know about you guys, but that'd be tough to do our jobs, right? When we're having oh, that's out of stock. Oh, that's out of stock. Oh, that's out of stock, right? Thankfully, we've only had that with Melissa and Roman chamomile, and those are back. So that's a good thing. All right. So let's look at fast starts. doTERRA, you guys know it pays a 20, 10, and 5%. So that's 35%. We pay out for those 3 levels. There's no cap on it, right? If you're selling diamond kits to everybody, right? The 3,500 kit to everybody you know, you make that $400 every time. Okay, there's no cap on it. Young Living pays 30% in those bonuses, only 2 levels, and there is a cap on it. They won't let you make unlimited amount on that, okay? Do you guys like that? You want a cap on your income? Ooh. All right, power of 3. We have the 50, 250, and 1,500. Guess what? Young Living does not associate a bonus with structure. They don't have a bonus for that. Our unilevel pays 7 levels. Theirs pays 5. Ours pays 2% up to 7, right? It goes 2, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. Theirs pays 5 levels, and it starts at 8 and goes down to 4. Okay? And there are bonus pools. Okay? All right. Let's unpack the rank requirements. Now, silver, we need 3 legs for us. That's 9,000 sales. Their silver, you need 2 legs, but it's 10,000 sales. All right. Our gold, you need three legs of 5,000 each. So that's 15. Theirs is 35,000. That's a big difference, you guys. Yeah. Our platinum, 3 legs, 27,000 would be the minimum requirement for you to have the 3 legs. Their platinum with 4 legs is 100,000. Ouch. You guys, there's diamonds that don't have 100,000. I've personally met diamonds who have 4 legs, but they don't have 100,000 sales. They wouldn't be diamond if they had that requirement. Okay, our diamond, 4 legs, 36,000 potentially if you had a perfect structure. Their diamond has 5 legs, 250,000 sales requirement. Ouch. You guys, there's blue diamonds in doTERRA that don't have 250,000. Can you imagine if they had these cap requirements on people? Okay, our blue diamond, 5 levels, potentially 75,000 is the minimum OV that you would need. Their crown diamond has 6 levels, 6 legs required. Their minimum requirement is 750,000. You guys, no wonder people are not breaking these ranks, right? Our presidential diamond, 6 legs, potentially 162,000 if you had a perfect 6 platinums, right? Their royal diamond requires 6 legs, but 1.5 million OV. You guys, wow. Okay, now can you see why you have to compare comp plans, income disclosure statement, ranks, OV, legs, retention rate? All of that makes a huge difference when you're comparing, all right? Are you guys totally rocking this presentation? It's awesome. Okay, all right, so let's unpack it one more time. Platinum, 3 legs with 27,000 OV. The average income for doTERRA is 115,000. Their versus their gold with 3 legs of 35,000, their income average is 78. Okay. Our diamond, 4 legs, 36,000 OV minimum. Our average earnings is 200,000. Their comparative is platinum with 4 legs of 100,000 OV. So even with that much more OV, you guys, it's 188 is their average. Okay, that's what I don't understand is if the income requirement is so high, the sales, why isn't it commensurate, right? Because the comp plan, it was reversed, remember? So blue diamond, 5 legs of at least 75,000 OV, the income is 462,000 average versus their diamond with 5 legs of 250,000 OV is 389. And then our presidential diamond, 6 legs, 1.3 million versus their 6 legs with 1.5 million requirement. And the average is 982,000. Mind-boggling, right? All right. So in conclusion, the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. So when you hear people talking about it wraps, it works, whatever, and they make 10% off of everything at the beginning because that first level makes 10%, and everybody's buying leggings or whatever, I don't know. Pause and think and do your research. And it's easy to jump the fence, right? It's easy to say, you know what? We've met people recently who we met last year in December, and since then they've done 5 different businesses. What's happening, guys, is that you're building a foundation. Imagine if you're building a house, right? This takes time. This isn't going to happen overnight. Trust the process. Trust you've made a wise choice, and then get to work, right? But what ends up happening is that people start, if you imagine building a house in the city. So in the city, this person has 5 foundations. You've started 5 different houses to build, but none of them have a roof or a door or, we have to just pick one and stick to it. All right. Otherwise, people will think we're flaky too. And so we don't want to do that. You pick something and commit to it. It's sad. It's sad to see people hopping like that. And they still come back. I got a phone call this week. A precious friend came back and she's like, Roxy, I've tried 4 different things in the last 4 years. And I, bless your heart. I welcome you back, but it's time to stop. It's time to choose, right? It's just time to commit. And stop building foundations all over the city and get to hustling and do one thing and do it really, really well. All right. So in conclusion, people, products, and the plan, right? So important. And you don't want to rebuild again and again and again. Nobody wants to do that. We want to build it right, firm foundation, strong, and build it to last. That retention rate. Look, remember the ladies unilevel, that presidential diamonds unilevel of 100,000, right? That's what we're trying to build here, is long-term residual income, so that we can help other people get free as well, right? Be debt-free, be financially free, so you don't owe anything to anyone, so you can give more and do more and serve more and fulfill your higher purpose, whatever God has called you to do on this planet, right? Whatever good works He's prepared in advance for you to do. We want to walk into that and step into that. But a lot of times we're bonded. We're in bondage. And so we need to break free so that we can be a blessing to other people. So remember the value of retention rate. That is so important. Now, a lot of people, it's one of the first things I ask people to do in another company. What's your retention rate? They're like, oh, they don't know. Find out. Call the company. What's the retention rate? I want to see it in writing. Show me, right? And be sure to compare all the details of the compensation plan so you don't get tossed and turned by the waves. All right, so that is the conclusion of this presentation. So if you guys have any questions or comments, let's see here. You guys are welcome to raise your hand, type in the chat bar, unmute yourself. I'm trying to go back to the full screen. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Okay, full screen. Nope, that wasn't the button. All right, let's see this one. Maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. You guys see, they let anybody do this. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Brianna, I see Brianna. Oh yeah, stop share. That was my problem. Okay. All right, guys. Any questions tonight?
Yes.